to Cork as a partisan crowd is awaiting the Red Roses for this one, and we can join our commentary team. Former England captain Katie Daly-McLean is alongside Sarah Orchard.
Thanks, Gabby. Yes, the England team coming out, all giving their congratulations to Abby Dow on that occasion of her 50th cap. Such a popular servant of English rugby, who of course overcame the odds after that terrible leg break to make that last World Cup in 2022. But here come Ireland. They are led out by their skipper, Amy Lee Costigan. Now she's a Munster girl, and this will be a moment for her to savour. Musgrave Park is in full voice as it embraces the Ireland women now for a 5th time that they've actually hosted a fixture for them. Aoife Wafer smiling on. And as much as England are currently in the mix in this Six Nations, unbeaten so far, maximum points in the campaign, this crowd have certainly come to see if this green wave of Ireland will continue to grow.
Boys and girls, if you can.
Right then, first up we have the anthem, starting with God Save the King.
By the Highfield Choir.
Well, it's been 10 years since Ireland's women have beat England in the Six Nations. This is the latest personnel who fancy their chances. 3 changes for head coach Scott Beeman, 2 in the forwards with Munster lock Dorothy Wall in a pink scrum cap. She calls havoc off the bench. She's promoted to start. Or Brittany Hogan, she's also promoted off the bench. Whilst the backs, they are unchanged from the side that thumped Italy last week, with the exception of scrum half Emily Lane, with the Blackrock College 9 pushing Aoibhinn Riley into the replacements. For the the second time this tournament, Amy Lee Costigan skippers from the wing. Right, let's move on to the opposition, where there is also 3 changes, this time all in the forwards. John Mitchell, he opts to start Hannah Bottoman and Maud Muir. They're going to be at 1 and 3 in the front row. Well, the headline, of course, is the return from suspension of Alex Matthews at number 8. Is she finally under pressure for that shirt? In the backs, they're unchanged, of course, but we must give that hat tip to Trailfinders wing Abby Dow on her 50th cap. But this is a World Cup first choice lineup. Some are saying that. Is it going to be Saracen Zoe Harrison who pulls the strings when it comes to that tournament later in the year? We shall see. Onto the benches, keep an eye out for Vicky Elms-Kinlan for Ireland, best known on the 7 series, but could the wing make her Six Nations debut for only her second 15s cap? Once again, that famous now red scrum cap of Aoife Wafer. So much expected of her. World Player of the Year Ellie Kildunn also watching on. Time to say good afternoon to Katie Daly-McLean, and this is a huge opportunity for Ireland to ultimately show that they can mix it with the best.
Yeah, good afternoon. I think it's going to be a fascinating game. It's a big opportunity. Ireland are at home. You know, they went close against France in round 1, 27-15 they went down. But it'll be really interesting to see how they match up to this, what we're pretending to think is this A side of England.
Our referee today is Aurélie Grosilot of France. She's now officiating in her 7th Women's Six Nations campaign, and she gets us underway in Cork. Can Ireland show that they have got the 80-minute intensity required that saw them beat the world champions New Zealand last year? Or is this England machine going to work their way through the gears once again? Ball gathered at the back there by Flood. Decides to run it into contact straight away. Lane, Dugan. Lane under a lot of pressure, and in the end it goes to Dana O'Brien, puts boot to ball, and that is a lovely kick there by the young fly half. Only 21 years old, Dana O'Brien, and she's on 99 points today as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely little kick, isn't it? She's under a lot of pressure there. England defence have come up and smothered her. It just drops back in, but it's just going to be the bounce of this ball on this pitch today, isn't it? You're going to have to try and catch everything early.
Yeah, as you can see on the screens, this is an artificial surface, and that can do funny things to the bounce of a rugby ball. Taken cleanly by Aldcroft, frequently England's go-to line-out operator, Matthews. First time we've seen her since that suspension she picked up from the Premiership Women's Rugby final.
Stop, Simon!
Missed the opening 2 games of this Six Nations campaign. Completed her tackle school to return against Ireland. Lane searching for options, finds Niamh O'Dowd. Distribution away then, still in the forwards, but over the top there. I think it was Atkin Davis, thought she'd have a nibble, not to be. Now, both these 2 sides have the fastest ruck speed so far in the Six Nations, and they will both be desperately trying to slow each other down. Once again, still driving forward is O'Dowd. She is an absolute machine, but Hannah Bottoman there. She stayed on her feet in the first shove, so referee happy, but Ireland have just held on to that. Just see there stood in that first receiver position was Higgins, but a first knock on there by Ireland. England get the advantage, and this is their first attack. Out wide they go. It's Breach. She was looking for options, no one really there. And that's a strong tackle into touch.
Yeah, it's a very good tackle, is it? England on the counter, we know they are so dangerous. Thought from Jess Breach you would have liked her to either pin her ears down early, but it's a really good rip there. It's Abby Ward. I think Moana Talon's in there. Irish players just got a bit upright, bit too front on.
Just restart. More on the mark. Please moving.
It's Brittany Hogan there, you can see on your screen, who had that tackle. One of the players who was on the bench last week, keen to use her start.
Yeah, you see Jess there, she just ends up in that 5-metre channel. Looks like she wants to go back inside to Ellie Kildunn. But it's a really good tackle, good use of the touchline.
Lee Jones of Gloucester Hartbury in at hooker for Ireland today. Down on the floor, England not rolling away. Sadia Kabea, the one in trouble, and Ireland with the penalty to kick away. keep a close eye on Dana O'Brien, because we'll probably talk about her a lot in this fixture, because she is so young and she's doing such mature things at such an early stage in her career. Still only her 22nd cap. But this was the moment. Sadia Kebede just got caught at that.
It's cheap from Sadia Kebede. You know, it is really good chop tackle, gets her down, but she's got to clear that tackle site much quicker.
England disrupt at the line out. Maud Muir, take a seat, she says to O'Brien. Down the line it goes there. Harrison with the first distribution. Kildunn thinks there's space on the edge. Dow tracks back inside, knows the pitch was running out. Hunt. Bottoman with the top down. Harrison there, Talling involved. Muir once again. A lovely touch through there by Zoe Harrison, really forcing Ireland to turn. Was that a knock-on at the back by Flood as well?
Knock-on.
Simple mistake, and has cost Ireland a lot of territory.
It's a great kick by Zoe Harrison, but again, the speed of England's play, how dominant these collisions are. You see, it's so hard when you know you've got on-Russian defenders there. Potentially one, she just taps into touch and just gives England the line out there, because it was so difficult to field that when it's on the ground. Here you see Zoe Allcroft so good at that defensive line out, and Maud Muir again into Dana O'Brien. As a fly-half, that's the last thing you want to see.
Maud Muir still only 23 years old. There is the Ireland head coach, Scott Beamond. Of course, for many years, part of the England setup. Just in front of him, Alex Codling, who's now operating the Irish women's line-out. But you can just see there, England, quite a few more kgs. I'm not going to do that maths quick enough, because it's only an 18-minute match, but there's definitely a few more there for England. And they're going to reset that one.
Okay. Just you need to keep the right foot, please. Okay? And stay high.
There you go. That's the England head coach, John Mitchell.
Okay.
He's not giving too much away about the two units that he's operating in this Six Nations, Katie, but do you think this is his strongest side?
Yeah, look, I think it's really interesting, isn't it? It's what coaches don't say, and I think for me, you know, Zoe Harrison went very well. That backline really clicked together last week against Wales. It'll be interesting to see as this tournament goes whether any slight changes happen, or whether this, like you say, is potentially going to be that World Cup group.
Heard. England first real attack in the red zone. Hunt with the quick ball again. Ireland are going to have to slow this down somehow. Heard offering herself, but they skipped her. Breach with the little dummy, but that's well read by O'Brien.
No, ball is out.
Tried to go through the forwards. Talling, Hunt, Ward. Muir, who is being used as England's personal battering ram in Cork this afternoon. Hunt. Footwork everywhere, shuffle, but she shuffled in front of her own player. You can't do that, and Ireland get the penalty.
I'd like to see that again. I think Mohan's unlucky there. I think referee, there was a lot of bodies in that mix there that she's just trying to avoid. And again, it's because of the speed of ball. England's speed, you see they're getting in behind, they're making good post-contact meters, and the ball is on the deck, being able to be moved quickly, and it's going to be really hard for Ireland to do something about that, to slow that contact, to slow that ball speed down. Here it is there. See, referee there is just, no, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, Hannah Bottoman. Sorry, referee. It's Hannah Bottoman. Look very similar though, don't they? Same colour.
Oh, very similar, very similar. Different colour shirts sometimes give it away, but hey. Right then, Ireland, can they get out of their own end? Here we go. Long it goes, over the top, saved by Wall. Down to O'Brien. There's Wafer. Lane looks up, manages to find Niamh Jones. O'Brien again. That huge long kick. I mean, the meter she makes is so impressive. Bounces over the head there of Dow, who is done so well to make sure that didn't go into touch, but will she end up there anyway? What a chase there by Higgins, who roars with that effort. And look at that line out now for Ireland. Costigan in there as well.
Great kick, the perk of having a left footer, isn't it? You see there, she splits both Abby Dow, Zoe Harrison and Ellie Kildone. Probably a bit dubious about their position in there because somebody should be sat deeper. You think Abby Dow's done a great job, but it's the chase from Ireland. 2 players straight into touch. Really easy meters for Ireland to take from England there.
10 years now since Ireland's last win over England. In 2015 when they last won the Six Nations.
Okay, thank you.
Are they starting to rise again? Early days here in this fixture to get too excited, but flashes, moments like that mean a huge amount.
I think on that, sorry, it's just about momentum. What you want to do as a team, you want to build into the game. Look, we know England come here as favourites, but if you're Ireland, you just want moments. You want to know your kicking game's operating. We saw at the beginning that those flags were blowing, so there is a wind there. Be interesting to see whether Ireland have this wind in that first half, and therefore they're going to want to use it. They're going to want to try and get some points on the board early doors. And if O'Brien is kicking as well as she had in the last couple of kicks, it's a really good mark and a really good start.
Big take in the air there by Erin King. Oh, the crowd want this. Driving on their women. Pause in there of Abby Ward. Jones still has the ball up her jumper, and this is trucking along beautifully for the women in green. It's still going. Jugang got it. Still Jugang. Is she there? Not quite. Opportunity for Ireland. Stretching this time by Hogan. What would it mean for Ireland now? Wall. Is that over?
Offside.
Not yet. Referee says offside. Advantage then to Ireland. Waiting there was Chute. Crossfield kick comes in from O'Brien. Waiting underneath. It doesn't matter because it's too much, but they've got the penalty advantage.
Offside.
That was an incredible maul.
I mean, you know my love for mauls. To be honest, it really
Katie's
was.
being sarcastic in case you don't pick that up across our television screens here.
It was really good form. Meg Jones there's the one that gives that penalty for being offside, move before the ball's played. But for Ireland's purposes, really good formation. Potentially don't think they need to take this option there. I think they could have gone back to that short side and picked on Mohan. But look, it's really good pressure. It's good opportunity. They've formed this maul. Abby Ward, I thought, had done a really good job of getting a big mitts in it, a big pause, I think you mentioned. You called them. But it's a really good start from Ireland here.
And of course, Wales scored against England after 6 minutes last week.
Time off. Time off. Who is the captain of the line-out?
I'm the caller, yeah.
Okay, thank you. You need to be quicker, and you don't stay here. You go immediately inside. Thank you.
Well, Ireland will have to be a little bit careful there. There is an unofficial clock going on to get your line-outs and scrums going. And here comes the drive again from Ireland. England slightly more alive to the danger now. Wall is calling for a bit more effort. Dalton makes her way in. More power coming this time by King as well. Throwing some players at it. There's the warning. Ireland have to get it out. Held by England, they get the scrum.
Abby Ward there, absolutely outstanding. She is so good at that for England. Her ability to allow something to set and then act and track that ball to be able to get over the top without breaking binds or changing position is phenomenal, and really good bit of maul defence there from her.
Let's go.
Can't necessarily. England do a really good first job of just stopping it and making Ireland try and change. And then as soon as it starts to split there, you see her slip through the middle between Wafer. She goes down the inside, which she's allowed to do. And then once she's got grip around that ball, makes it unplayable and England's opportunity to exit.
Crouch!
Big scrum for England.
Set!
Oh, the pack.
Use the ball!
They've almost run over Maud Muir.
Other side, balls on the ground.
can just see there Natasha Hunt whispering in the referee's ear.
Yeah.
So she's referee saying it's gone down the other side there.
Okay.
I think Natasha Hunt's looking for a penalty there with England's dominance.
Yeah.
There you go. Ireland have been enjoying far more of the ball so far than England. They've been far happier in their kicking game, particularly over the last year, Ireland. It's something that's really developed. A lot of that credit goes to O'Brien, but also Stacey Flood as well. They were a little bit worried that the fullback Stacey Flood might not be fit for this campaign, came in with an ankle injury, but is fit enough, and England get the penalty.
Yeah, England scrum 100% in both round one and round two. So something that they know, having such a dominant set piece just gives you that confidence. And at moments like that, when you're 5 metres out, you know, you can go to scrum, get a penalty. And with the kicking game of Zoe Harrison, it's just a really easy exit.
Okay, thank you.
England a bit quicker to come and form their line out. They will have heard that warning that was given to Ireland. Atkin-Davis, they've gone for short numbers there. And they drive that one on, used quickly by Matthews to Kubea. Bottoman. Hunt. Harrison, Hurd. Here comes Jones. Big penalty for Ireland. England off their feet. Worth knowing also that at this point when we played this fixture last year, England were already 19 points up, nothing on the board yet.
No, and you've got to argue that Ireland look more comfortable defending in those wide channels than England do attacking at the moment. I think defensively we were worried that potentially Ireland couldn't stop England's physicality there, but again, good tackle by Dalton there. And then it's just, I mean, is she on her feet when she goes to counter? Question, but they just do a really good job of making a mess of it and making it hard work for England.
Jones, ball into Wall, taken by Wafer. Nice run coming this time by Hogan, who's over the top of that. No, not to be given. O'Dowd, known as Noddy to the rest of the Irish team. Lane, O'Brien. Dalton there, manages to get it away to McGann, who got a hat-trick last week. Flood can't take cleanly, and England will get the scrum.
Good approach play again by Ireland, but for me these are going to be the things that cost them. If they have this many entries and opportunities, a big possession stat, but they're not going to change that into points, it could be a difficult day for them because England won't continue to give them lots of opportunities. So here it's a nice little line out play. It's a really good line the way she gets into the seam between the back of the line out and the first defender. And then, like you talked about, Sarah, it's their ruck speed, isn't it? Good quick ball, good present, clear has gone past. Bit lateral there. Can see why she's trying to throw that offload, but as soon as she's there, she's got to take the contact and recycle. And for Ireland, this will just be continuing learning, doing some really good bits, but they just need to be a bit more clarity.
Yeah, those handling errors costing Ireland at the moment.
Use the ball.
Hunt told to use it, but she'd rather the penalty, and that's what England take. And this will be the concern now for Ireland, as well as they're doing the set pieces where England have the upper hand.
Definitely it's scrum time, isn't it? And for Ireland, then you're just going to have to not give those errors away. When you get your entries, you've got to be really, really protective of that ball.
Atkin-Davis gets the ball into a Bristol teammate in Abby Ward. Dow, Hurd, who is well marked there. They know what kind of holes she can make in a defensive line if she is given the opportunity. Her knees are on the ground, so Ireland were warned there. If they're going to try and go for the choke tackle, she's got to be right up, but she was down to her knees and they just held her too long.
Ireland obviously done their homework, though, of England, haven't they? Knew exactly what was coming from that line out, starting to recognise England's shape there. I think it was O'Brien and Higgins big double tackle, haven't bitten on any of the other decoy runners, and like you say, as soon as you get there, you've got to keep her up. You can't let that knee hit the ground, because as soon as it does, you have to release her.
Here comes an English maul. This is England's only second visit inside of that Irish 22. Can they make it count? No points yet in this fixture for either side. Hurd. Jones was the decoy, passed out to Kildunn. She goes for the footwork. Should that pass have gone to breach? Hunt, back inside. Atkin-Davis was there. Talling, huge tackle going on in here by O'Dowd. She loves a dominant tackle. Matthews. Ireland need to be careful about where they're lying on the floor. There's all sorts of confusion going on there, but it's Bottoman who has it, and she's holding on to her head. Not sure if they'll go back and look at that. Muir. Atkin-Davis again. Strongest set by England. Big push back on Breach, who does well to turn her body back round. But the penalty goes the way of Ireland. Holding on the floor. And Ireland survive a second English attack.
Some really big shots there, but for me, the main one there was by Daniel O'Brien. Great read on the little play from England there. Knew Jess Breach was loitering to come out the back, gets a read, gets a good tackle, and just allows the Irish player to get over the jackal. Really, really good defensive play here by Allen. You see that shot on Moena Talon. Not a lot of people do that. Big double hit Dorothy Wall in there as well. But this is the play. She reads it early. Jess Breach trying to get good hands, can't get rid of it. Means that Ireland are coming forward defensively. England have got to get back through the gate. It's a really good turnover there by Hogan.
Hallcroft tried to deal with it just a bit too late. Dana O'Brien, you can see on your screen there with the pink in her hair. She was the one who kicked the conversion against New Zealand back in the autumn by 2 points. It was the winning 2 points that gave them that victory over the world champions. There's a little bit of treatment going on there to Hannah Bottoman. So I think they're just waiting for the medics to get off the pitch. Hannah Bottoman seems okay to carry on.
Okay, so
just having a chat.
I don't change the restart, just I prevent the player. Are you okay with that? Okay. Just Zoe, we have high tackle, but it's a similar penalty against you. Just be careful for the... Okay.
Okay, so there was 2 incidents. One for England, one for Ireland. Therefore, they're going to play on or not?
By green. So I reverse the penalty. Okay. So, Captain, it's penalty for you. So I come back in. Perfect. Penalty.
Okay, so it was the tackle on Hannah Bottoman that they're going to get the penalty
so we
kick
have high
for.
tackle. We come back for penalty. Yeah, 7, and the position is.
So they're just going to get the exact position on the field.
On the amber side.
And an opportunity then for England to drop this in the corner and be 5 metres out. I don't think they're interested at the moment of kicking 3, and Zoe Harrison needs a ball. There you go. So that was the moment there. You can just see there, Hannah Bottoman, when she went into that contact with King, she was just holding onto her head straight away.
Yeah, you can see contact shoulder straight to the head, isn't it?
Okay. No, Green, stay on your mark, Green.
Another attacking platform then for England. Atkin-Davis steps up. Aldcroft, the go-to woman. Here comes the maul. Straightened. They need to drive or they'll have to use it. That's very close from England. Atkin Davis has it. Penalty advantage, but there are Irish hands all over that ball. Abby Ward is trying to rip them out. And they'll come back for the penalty again. Let's listen in.
We need more discipline, please. Okay, 2 side entry.
Okay, I'm just going to speak to you for a second.
Yes, please.
How many points is that now?
Now, Amy Lee Costigan just speaking to her team there. They are going to have to be careful. If you don't know the name Amy Lee Costigan, she used to be known as Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. She got married in November. She's a huge name on the Sevens circuit, but is now committed to 15s for the World Cup this year. What a take from Ward in the air there. That's a better drive from England. That's trucking along. How close are England from their first points in this fixture? It's collapsed on the floor. Can it be used? Ireland have that. What a strip for them. Lane is being told to use it. I mean, from a collapsed maul, that could easily be an Irish scrum, but they're playing. Wafer. Back it goes to O'Brien. And once again, Ireland have got themselves out of a very precarious situation, and they've done it very well.
They have, and like you say, I think they're really unlucky not to have, I mean, potentially didn't want a scrum, so actually it does work in their favour. But referee was doing circles round it, wasn't she? I mean, there's hands on the floor, there's loads of things going on there, but a very good exit by Ireland.
Backwards!
Well, England couldn't quite take that, but Hunt was there to do the clean-up job. Jones, her teammate at Gloucester Hartbury, there to tackle her. Yeah. Kabaya can't take that. And we've got a real test match going on here.
We definitely have. Opening 20 minutes, there's definitely a tussle here. England on having it their own way, and I think they're doing some good stuff. But Ireland's defence has been outstanding. You know, Noah McMahon this week, she was one of their top dominant tacklers. Dorothy Wall has been brilliant. O'Dowd getting off the line, and they're just forcing errors from England there. You know, Sarja Kabaya is not one that we usually see dropping balls, especially not that close to the line. Possession for the last 10, 85% to England, but at the moment not converting it at all.
So a reminder that this time last year, when this fixture was played at the now Allianz Stadium, England won 88 points to 10. Certainly not that kind of scoreline that England will have the time to rack up today, but that is a big, strong scrum. Surely a penalty, and it's given. Hunt wants to go quickly. Was that knocked on, or was it off a foot? Referee is playing on. Not quite the composure that anyone who's watched England a lot recently we're used to seeing. Atkin Davis. Now, I think that's the second penalty England have had for exactly the same thing, for going off their feet.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, you've got to react to the referee. You might not agree with it, but if they're looking at certain pictures, which this referee is, you've got to be really clean. So when you go through that clear, whether Ireland are there or not, you've got to keep that chest up. You've got to hold your body weight.
And once again, Dana O'Brien gets her team at the right end of the field. This was the penalty.
Yeah, you see there, Moena Talon goes straight off her feet. She never makes any attempt to carry them. But what is interesting, if you look at that touch judge's flag, Ireland do have this wind, and they're going to want to use that. They're going to want to get this scoreboard ticking on.
I'm going to come with you. I'm going to leave our I'm going to come with you, but we need...
We're all trying to listen in as much as we can as to what Jones and O'Dowd are saying to each other. I don't think they're making dinner plans for tonight.
I think that's probably a bit of scrum chat.
You think?
Yeah, I think if you look at where that grip's going, trying to come with it, potentially England are looking to target O'Dowd there, and Niamh Jones is a hooker, her job to try and support O'Dowd and give her a bit of protection.
Well, it's Fiona Chute there who is receiving a bit of treatment. She's good to carry on. Right then, so just a reminder that tomorrow it's Scotland against Italy in the Six Nations, 2:45 kickoff on the iPlayer if you want to follow that one. We've also got the boat race tomorrow, that one 12:20 on BBC One.
And the touch.
England against Scotland, that one's next week. It's going to be at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road, 4:30 kickoff on BBC Two. And don't forget the Rugby Union Weekly podcast with myself and Katie will be available on the BBC Sounds app. We also have all of the information from the quarter-finals of the Champions Cup. But look at this chase by Amy Lee Costigan. She's going to score! Amy Lee Costigan, the first Irish woman to score against England in 6.5 years. What a moment at Musgrave Park. And it came from a Munster woman as well.
Doesn't get any better than that, does it? It's a really good identification of space. Overthrow, yes, hasn't gone well. But if you look at this play out, Dana O'Brien, she's identified it, and it's a lovely bit of execution. Abby Dow's come up because she has to close that space. And then it's a foot race, and they don't come much quicker than Costigan. Like you say, couldn't think of a better Irish lady to score against England.
Yeah, if anyone wanted the pub quiz question, we did check earlier. It was Claire Malloy, the last one to score. O'Brien can't get the extras, but what a start from Ireland. They have battled away, and this was the moment that Costigan has just put her name in history.
It's a really well-weighted kick, isn't it? She's got a lovely drop. She's got end over end, so the ball's going to roll. And then it's just about speed. I mean, Abby Dow is no slouch. Yes, she's got a turn, but when Costigan's going forward, full pace, very few will keep up with her.
For the second time in this Six Nations campaign, England are behind. And Amy Lee Costigan is very pleased about that. Well, we said Ireland had to back up that performance against New Zealand in the autumn. They were so disappointed with that opening loss against France.
Time on!
This would be some victory if they can pull it off. Long way to go. Right then, taken the air by Chute. The Ulster woman goes down to the floor. Way for Happy to offer services, but Lane does arrive. Ireland with their tails up.
Stop!
Pressure there going down on Kildunn, who's had a quiet game so far, hasn't had a lot of ball. Well, Ireland slightly lost the territory battle there in that kicking exchange. It'll be England with the line-out.
I do enjoy that as a fly half when you look at your touch judge, trying like you're going to get them to move, but it went out 20 metres further. But look, she did there. I think we haven't seen a lot from Ellie Kildunn, but we know when she does have touches, really good return kick.
Is this going to be the start of the backlash breach? Atkin Davis recently signed a new contract with Bristol, keeping her there for another couple of years. Talling. That's good post-contact meters there. Hunt isn't happy with how that ball was presented. Ward again. Now she's got a knee down again, and Ireland will have to be careful there. Talling out wide to Matthews. Popped up ball to Dow. Muir once again. She lost it forward. Referee plays on. Heard. Can't get the pass away. That was a knock-on. And Ireland get the ball back. But it is a scrum, and this is where they are going to have to start fronting up.
Yeah, again, it's a really good defensive play by Ireland. They look organised. The speed of England's attack doesn't look like it's troubling them too much. England there going a little bit side to side, jumping the short side, coming back, jumping back down that short side, not really getting into the dominance that we saw they had against Wales. I think here it's a bit of a strip, isn't it, by King on Muir. Yeah, I don't think it's a knock-on, so that's fine. It's ripped.
Okay. Play on.
And then here, good lines, we know, down again, just getting out into Tatiana Hurd's face there, not giving them the time to play these nice little tip passes at the line. Really, really good, good 27 minutes for Ireland's defence.
On the ground.
Okay, they're going to come back for the first knock-on. Just shuffling along.
First knock-on the ground. Scrum green.
Well, arguably it was knocked out of Maud Muir's hands, but the referee thinks it was an English hand the last to touch, so I think Niamh Dowd has got away with one there. It's a happy crowd out there. Ireland have been talking a lot about their sort of theme at the moment is the green wave and how they want to bring everyone with them. There's been big talk from the Irish setup, quite openly saying they want to get to a World Cup final later this year.
Reset.
That one down on that near side straight away between Djugang and Bottoman. It's actually Bottoman's first start in this Six Nations campaign. Ended up playing a lot more of the Wales game than she thought she was going to. After we had that injury to Mackenzie Carson. She's now ruled out of the Six Nations. She is expected, if selected, to be fit in time for the World Cup. Apologies for any verbs or adjectives that you're not that keen on, you might have heard there.
Place. Yes, place. On the side, place, coming. Yo, you have too many scrum on the ground, so you need to be better, okay?
I know.
Yeah.
What did you think of that chat, Katie? You need to be better.
It's very clear, isn't it? She's right as well. Super interesting though, isn't it? Because we know England have had such dominance at scrum time. What Ireland have to do to keep getting these 50-50s, because at some point referee will have to make a decision and most likely will go with the dominant side. It also just slows down the game, doesn't it? We want this quicker.
Walking forward.
You can see John Mitchell has Lewis Deacon alongside him, the England forwards coach.
Thank you. Yeah.
So in the Irish front row, you've got Niamh Dowd, Niamh Jones and Linda Djugang. I learnt this week that Niamh Dowd is a very big rice pudding fan. Apparently she packs her suitcase if they go on tour with tins of it, just in case where she's going doesn't have any. So here comes Aoife Wafer. She's powered by rice pudding, it's working. Back then to O'Brien. Kildone. Jones there just try and get that ball back, not to be. Bottoman, Hunt, Harrison, lovely flat pass there, that's really nice. Interaction there between Matthews and Aldcroft. Hurd, she's got Jones outside of it, she knows she's isolated. Atkin Davis. Up the guts of the park go the props once again. Nice there to Cabella. Bottoman with the tap pass, but it's gone into Irish hands. It was forwards as well. Every time England think they can get something, Ireland just suck it straight back.
No advantage. Knock on.
Now, that will be annoying for Ireland because
Scrum.
they were kind of hoping it might be a line out, but it's not. They're going to go back and get a scrum.
Yeah, but we
Yes,
see
for me,
again,
the
it's
ball is up.
O'Dowd again. She's doing a really good job of defending England's first ball carrier. And when she's coming in that line, she's pressurising their skill set. Hannah
For me, the
Bottoman
ball
there
is up.
tries a bit of a risky one, bit of a tip pass when probably just needs to catch it and take the contact. But that tactic from Ireland, we've seen 3 or 4 times in this first half,
Ready?
is really working
Ready?
and not allowing England to play.
Yeah, Niamh O'Dowd, again, I mean, we've mentioned her a lot. She real high work rate, strong tackler, but her discipline can sometimes cost her. On your screen at the moment, that's Eve Higgins. And there you go, look at those tackles made by Ireland, huge numbers there.
I think we referred to this time last year, 88-0. Ireland missed 38 tackles in that game. You think now, 32 minutes gone, only 5, and they've had much less of that possession.
That's a big push from England, but the ball is out quickly. Wafer straight away then to O'Brien.
Stop!
Here comes the Harlequins fullback. Kildan places back. Hunt is well wrapped.
No advantage. Come back. 13! Offside in for the kicker.
Okay, 13 offside. That's Aoife Dalton, who was player of the match against Italy last week for
13.
Ireland.
She's running a line off the scrum, off the set piece. So she's not bringing her
Yeah,
chase
thank
on.
you.
It's
Yeah,
people
yeah,
out
no,
to
thank
me.
you. Yeah.
Nice try, Dana O'Brien. Nice try.
It's really hard, that, isn't it, though, when you've just exited your scrums, giving you a platform, really good kick, really good chase, and they come back for something that you think you've sorted out there.
Well, we're closing in on the half-time whistle. England don't have any points. The last time they were under this kind of pressure was against Canada last autumn. It's been a while.
Over 15.
Did come away with a win then. Remember, they're on a run of 22 wins in a row. Their last loss was the Rugby World Cup final.
For me, it's the same ball.
I mean, this is keeping it very tight. The forwards know where the line is. Is this their moment? Surely that's over. Is there a green arm under it? Try has been given. It's taken England 34 minutes to get on the clock, but it's Moena Talling who touches down for them.
We know England's set piece is so dominant, and that's what you need. Look, Ireland are defending very well. They're putting a lot of pressure on England, but when England need to get point, their maul, their set piece, their scrum have gone really, really well. And that's what this game will be about. It'll be just about taking your opportunity. It's good maul, it's well driven, it's well organised. Akin Davies there just gets turned and she just feeds that ball off, and it's an easy finish for Moena Talling.
Yeah.
Zoe Harrison puts England in the lead for the first time in this fixture. That will give them confidence, but ultimately, Ireland will be so frustrated right now.
Yeah, they'll be really disappointed, won't they? The opportunity that this came from to give England that maul was a silly penalty. One where kickers just probably, if you're in front of the ball, you need to retreat, potentially maybe put on outside by your winger. But yeah, it was kind of a cheap.
So England had 38 points on the board at half-time this time last year, or at the half-time whistle. Certainly not going to be anywhere near that. Oh, that was a great still on the floor by Jugang. Referee happy that everything was onside. Play on. Hogan.
The advantage for Morecambe.
A lot of these Irish women have played a lot of sevens and their handling is good. None less than Costigan. Of course, went to the Paris Olympics to lead Ireland. Talked about what an honour it was to be asked to captain Ireland in the 15s as well. Dalton stood in that first receiver spot, looking for work. O'Brien running in this time by Hogan. Was that over the top by England? The appeals going up from Ireland. Jugang. Lane. O'Brien to Dalton. Just trying to get down that short side. O'Dowd again. Leinster woman has had some serious work in this fixture. O'Brien still going down the line. Flood has it. Dorothy Wall and playing some rugby at Exeter Chiefs in the Premiership Women's Rugby this season. Right on Dalton again. I mean, a lot of these Irish women, they've got a club, they've got a province. A lot of them also play in a competition called the Celtic Challenge as well. It's a little bit coast to coast here from Ireland at the moment. There comes the knock on. Just nothing direct to get them over the game line.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they were comfortable with ball in hand, and then they just started to lose their way, lose their shape a little bit here. See what they're trying to do. Nice little tip pass there, but it just doesn't connect, and then it's a fumble by McGann in those wide channels. But it's nice interplay, it's good build-up. It's just what they do if they're not going forward and how they create an additional opportunity, whether it's a kick in behind.
Well, this is not what Ireland want, is another scrum. I mean, before this fixture started, they were 100% on their scrum. That statistic will change after this fixture and will be a big work on for them.
Bind! Set!
I mean, the ball's not even in.
One, it's a free penalty against you, so it's more discipline now. Okay, thank you.
And that is the warning to the front row. I mean, it's been coming for a while.
It really has, probably the last 33 minutes, if we're honest. But yeah, it's tough now. Once you're on a warning, if you're not doing anything about it, what can you do about it?
Yeah, there you go. 4 penalties against Ireland. That will be concerning for both the props when it comes round to the next scrum. Half-time might help them out there. Long to the back. Allcroft takes. That was off Hunt's foot. They can play on, but Ireland are quickly over the top of that. England have it through Ward. What a handoff! Ward means business. Now, Ireland have that. That was a great strip by King. Goes back to Lane. She's looking for some help.
Use it!
O'Brien.
Stop!
Down this near side. That's a fumble there by Harrison. The only problem being is it's a scrum.
It's tough, isn't it? Because if you look at both the Irish props there, O'Dowd and Dugang, they've been probably the 2 standout players around the park. The work they're getting through, but really, really struggling at scrum time. Hannah Botman probably unlucky again here, not to get that as a holding on penalty.
Okay, I understand. Okay.
You can tell by the look on her face there. She wanted that.
An uncharacteristic drop as well by Zoe Harrison there. One of those where you just need to be a bit more side on rather than your chest facing where that ball's come from. But I thought this lady on your screen, Dan O'Brien, has kicked extremely well this first 40 for Ireland.
Big moment for both Irish props. They're on a warning here at the scrum. They need to get this ball in and out, and England know exactly what the consequences could be if they don't. Off the field, well held by Ireland, but what a 40 minutes of rugby we have had between these two sides. It remained absolutely scoreless for 24 minutes before it was Ireland who broke through Costigan. A huge moment for her. And somehow England have fought back. They found a way. They got their try through Moena Talling, the extras added by Zoe Harrison. And there they are, having a chat now, trying to decide how they can get the ascendancy. Half-time then in Cork, Ireland 5, England 7.
So interesting there that England players, you can see them still on the pitch, haven't even gone in yet, almost having them. Looks like they're going to get going early here. Let's get you out to Cork then and rejoin Katie and Sarah.
Thanks, Gabby. What a 40 minutes we have left to enjoy here. England, the world #1 side, feeling the pressure, from this rising Irish outfit. Have Ireland got another 40 minutes in them? Instructions have been given, and we're back underway then in Cork. And that was big pressure coming in down that far side wing, and England get the ball back. That's the kind of start they wanted. Hurd, Bottoman, Harrison, pass out wide, Breach. And Breach is off, she's got space. Oh, has she got that down? Have England struck within 30 seconds?
Okay, time off.
They're going to listen in and get that one checked. It's just keep an eye on Jess Breach's
so my
feet
decision is
as she goes over.
So I'm have a doubt of touch. You need to check, please.
Yep. So on-field try, checking touch.
We might need to slow that down to check. Jess Breach has scored 46 tries in her time. Is this number 47?
Just freeze before when the feet is on the line.
Well, it was Costigan there with that final act that might have saved Ireland.
The back on goal is the best.
The initial effort from Flood just to try and get the tap tackle. Then Costin with that big drag. And there is the foot on the whitewash.
Yeah, Orly.
I overturn my decision.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So it's not try and touch.
Great opening start from England though, wasn't it? Them at their best. Great chase from Abby Dow. She gets ball back, and then they got Ireland have no time to get that defensive pressure that we saw in the first half, and Jess Breach is millimetres away from adding that try.
Your gap is here.
So Ireland survived that scare. Someone's going to buy Amy Lee Costigan a pint in the bar afterwards. There was a hand in there, but it's still going to be an Irish line-out.
Really good intent from England, you know, they needed to start fast. Probably weren't overly happy with how that first half had gone. Big hand again from Zoe Allcroft, but really good intent from England.
Zoe Allcroft, so vital to England at that line-out. Well, Wafer lost that, but referee happy it's backwards. Ireland need to find a way to calm themselves. Wonderful low body position there.
No, nine, no on the nine.
From the Leinster woman, Wafer. Ball eventually back to O'Brien, who again just relieves the pressure. No touch found, and here comes Kildun. I'm just managing to slow down that English ball, and Muir's on the charge. They got her just meters away. That's a wonderful steal there by Higgins. That's fantastic work on the ground. Clearance comes by Flood. And Ireland, they are so improved from when we saw them last year. They've grown so much. And they are surviving everything England can throw at them. Ward popped off to Bottoman, that's forwards.
Tackle!
And Ireland will want to get this moving quickly. They don't want to scrum. It's the one weakness. Back to O'Brien.
Stay!
Kildun spoke this week saying she's been practicing the high balls in training.
Stop! Stop!
O'Dowd there, well up in the faces of that England line, causing problems, knocked on again by England. And you've got to give some credit there to that Irish defensive line, who are so disruptive to the England attack.
And what's really, really interesting is England have started to work out what is happening now. You see this break here from Maud Muir. England are getting in between. It's a great turnover from Higgins, isn't it? Speed of ball. This lady on your screen, Ellie Kildun, but it's Ireland's defence is winning at the moment. Their momentum, their tackle, their organisation, the speed into shape here. Nice little play from Abby Ward there and Hannah Bottom, and usually should take them, but double tacklers. And then here, O'Dowd's coming to the passing channel. Zoe Harrison knows she's there. She throws the big pass. It's not taken. But for me, England have started to work out what the solution is to this Ireland defence. Now they need to go ahead and execute it.
When? Oh, okay. I'm coming in your side, okay?
Now, I can only assume that Maud Muir is talking to the referee
Yeah?
and politely reminding her
Time
what
on.
happened in the scrum in the first half and that Ireland were on a warning.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Ireland will know only too well the pressure they're under now. They did get one quickly out of the scrum at the end of the first half, and that is exactly what they'll be trying to do again.
Stay hard. Please close to the mark. Thank you.
You can see Linda Dugang there on the far side of your screen. She's the most experienced Irish player in the starting 15. 33 caps to her name. Sorry, 44 caps to her name today.
Set!
Originally born in Cameroon, moved over to Ireland at age 9. But the scrum struggles continue. And what's going to happen here?
The first time, it's yellow. Please.
They'd given the warnings. Maud Muir's secret whisper did the job, and it is Niamh O'Dowd who goes to the bin. She got 2 yellows in WXV. She's had 6 penalties in 2 games so far in this campaign. And Ireland now under the pump for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was always coming, wasn't it? Ireland scrummers really struggled, the front row have struggled, England went straight after it as soon as they got the opportunity, and it's a very easy decision for the referee to give.
Moving! Stop! No.
Atkin Davis has it. Wall there thought she had her hands on it. You can hear Dorothy Wall there chatting away. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. Apologies again for any language you can hear from Dorothy Wall, a passionate woman. Wants to win for her country, not quite the execution that Hurd wanted. Well taken by Higgins. Back the ball goes. O'Brien again. I don't know if you can give a player of the match to someone's boot, but you definitely give it to Tanner O'Brien.
She is managing this game so well, and do you know what I love? It's the space she creates for herself. England moved that ball for me a little bit too in field, but because she's a left footer, it brings her so nicely back to that touchline. Couple of kicks where she's kicked straight to Ellie Kildare, that one judged perfectly, bounce out. Great play.
So England have the extra woman on the field. Dow on her 50th cap. Jones. Kildare, breach. Pinning her ears back. Kicks it through for Kildare. She needs the bounce of the ball. She can't contain it. Innovator. Nothing is sticking for England in this second half so far.
Not at all. Nice hands, isn't it? Lovely little ball. Jess Breach has got the outside, and I think Jess Breach, you know, she has developed this part of her game so much. It's Dalton from behind, I think, just gets into Ellie Kildare from behind, but great kick from Jess Breach.
Tight juggle there by Harrison. Kildare again. Hurd. England are being hustled and harried. They're not used to it. They're used to having most of it their own way, but hands in the ruck there by Ireland, and England with the penalty.
You're totally right, and it's so interesting for this England side, is how do you manage that when a team is in your face, confrontational, you're not getting the rub of the green? What do you do? And I think for the likes of Mo Hunt there, Zoe Harrison, this is where your halfbacks come and earn their money, you know, they simplify things, they either add more pace or they slow things down. You go to what you're good at, you make good, smart decisions, like taking a scrum.
Well, this was the penalty. The reason England have opted for the scrum is because O'Dowd is in the bin, so they're going to have to swap a player on. So there we go. Siobhan McCarthy comes onto the field, and someone will have to be sacrificed to bring the replacement on.
On 22.
Here we go then. Having to come off then. I think this is also a change as well, because that's Fiona Chute. So I think they might be putting someone from the back line there into the scrum.
Really interesting decision when your scrum has been so heavily dominated to lose the weight as well of adding a back in there.
Unless they've lost the number 8. She can't see Wafer. She might have gone on the other side of that scrum. Hunt. Hurd. Aldcroft. Right over the top there. You saw the long mitts of Hogan. Cabella, Harrison, Hurd, out to Breach, who does so well to hold that ball. Matthews. Bottoman. Takes a couple of defenders with her. This is simple rugby. This is numbers rugby from England. They just need patience. Bottoman, Harrison, still Harrison goes over, scores! England finally assert themselves on this fixture, but it's taken an Irish woman to be in the bin to do it.
Really good patience from England there. I think at times you thought they were going to move it a bit early, but they just let them forwards go round the corner. The Hannah Bottomans, the Alex Matthews, the Zoe Aldcrofts. Here you see the handling of nice little tips there. Jess Breach did a great job, holds it by a calf, and then here, Bottoman again pulls it back, and it's just good heads-up rugby from Zoe Harrison there. Ireland have done this so well. They've come out and they've stopped that wide pass. This time, Zoe Harrison heads up, an easy little walk-in for her.
Zoe Harrison converting her own try there. Lovely little dummy from her to get that one over. Reminder that Zoe Harrison, she really was the first choice fly half at the last World Cup for England, but then got an ACL injury in the year afterwards. And it's taken a while for her to battle back and get her opportunity in that England 10 shirt.
She really has, you know. You would argue that Holly Aitchison has been the front runner on that 10 shirt. I thought Zoe Harrison was very, very good against Wales last week, you know, kicked very well. Good balance. Today she's managing the game, she's running well, she's starting to solve this Ireland defensive problem that they're presenting England. So definitely putting a hand up for that 10 shirt.
Inside.
So England have still got a few more minutes on the Irish sin bin to try and exploit. Ellie Kildunn enjoyed her 50th cap at the Principality Stadium 2 weeks ago before the fallow week in the Women's Six Nations. It's Abby Dow's 50th today. Wafer named in the World Rugby Dream Team of the Year last year. Also named Irish Writers Player of the Year, such as the way she has impressed. O'Brien there, second-guessing the whole of the English defence. Flood. She pushes through. Kildunn does well there to stop that. Puts the pressure back on Dana O'Brien, who's chasing this.
Green, retreat!
A little bit of kick tennis. Harrison, head up. Unable to chip and chase. She's sending Natasha Hunt after that one. Dalton. Still Dalton.
Under shoulder, play on.
Wall.
No clear release.
Hannah Bottoman, she was on the floor, had to let go.
No clear release.
Couldn't play the ball. We did just catch the coach's reaction to that. Penalty for Ireland.
Yeah, Hannah Bottoman is getting nothing from the referee today. I think she's been unlucky on a couple of others. That one there, good turnover, and then gets penalty against for not releasing. You can see it here.
Under 50.
I think Dalton's done really well there, hasn't she, just to get the ball out in two hands.
We're going to go back and review that. I think we've got changes. Okay, you can see these are changes for England in the front row. Atkin-Davis is making her way off, as is Hannah Bottoman and Maud Muir. So it's a whole new front row. Amy Cockayne, Kelsey Clifford and Sarah Byrne. Of course, Sarah Byrne of TikTok fame. But maybe we'll talk about that later. Ooh, Jones managed to get the ball there to King. I'm not sure if she'll thank her lifters for putting her down as nicely as they could have there. Packer. Lucy Packer then on at scrum half for Natasha Hunt. Jones. England still with the extra on the field. Here comes Abby Dow. Back inside to Jones. Well worked by England. And now they're starting to just make that scoreboard be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, they look a lot more comfortable, ball in hand there. Start just to alter their depth a little bit as well. Just allow them to play to those wide channels. We know how dangerous that lady on your screen is, Meg Jones. Loves a bit of free running space. I thought Ellie Kildunn did so well. She attracted both defenders, ball in two hands. And Abby Dow, where we usually used to her finishing, nice little ball back inside. But here, Meg Jones, good footwork, drags the defenders, and Ellie Kildunn just keeps dummying. Makes Stacey Flood, you'd want her to stay out and take Abby Dow. As soon as she steps in, it leaves 2-on-1s, and skill set of England's backs. They're going to find that pretty easy to convert.
Well, that was the pass back inside by Abby Dow, just showing her composure. And that's what it means to Meg Jones. Absolutely everything. Ellie Kildunn also involved in that passage of play. Jones vice-captain for England now, alongside Marley Packer, who's a travelling reserve for England today. Zoe Allcroft now, the regular England skip. Kildunn. Harrison, Byrne, fresh legs, Jones, Matthews. Gets herself in a bit of a wrestling contest with Costigan. Packer, Cockayne. Ward driving on, refusing to give any inches to Ireland at all, taking everyone she can get. All of a sudden, England have their tails up. Flood. Dow. Right boot of Dow, down the right wing. O'Brien is there, Dow chasing her down. And Meg Jones just giving the directions for the touch judge of where she would like that line out.
Time off.
Really good decision by Abby Dow there. It would have been so easy for her, once to get into a bit of a kick battle, for that winger then to go and run it. Makes a really good decision of just putting that ball back into Ireland half, into their 22, and forcing Dan O'Brien to make a decision. Really, really smart play.
Ireland back up to a full complement of women. Niamh O'Dowd back onto the field. That has been a costly 10 minutes for them. 2 tries for England. What can they do with 15 on the field? Here comes Hurd, battling through. More fresh legs, this time Clifford. Cockayne with the distribution. Zoe Allcroft, fire in the belly. There's an Irish woman still down after that altercation with Allcroft. Packer thought about sniping. There's a gap there, it closed by the time she took it. More distribution coming through. Breach knows she has to stay away from the whitewash. Playing advantage then to Ireland. They'll get the scrum. But I think it's Niamh O'Dowd who's still down on the floor receiving treatment at the moment. She took quite a clattering.
Yeah, she came out of the line hard, didn't she? Zoe Allcroft just drops her height there, makes really good, solid contact. Such a physical ball carrier. think it takes 2 in this ball here. Not sure Jess Breach will be overly happy getting a ball that close to the touchline. So hard for your wingers to do anything about it when it's high and you're a metre from the touchline. They're the ones that you want to go to the player inside so they can take the contact, you can clean, you can start again.
Abby Dow there, she's been involved in an awful lot in the last 10 minutes or so. Started out her rugby playing with Reading. I'm sure there's a lot of happy people in the Reading clubhouse watching her today. Very proud of everything that she's achieved.
We have a lifting played out. It's a penalty against 14. Against us? Yes.
Right, and both sides getting ready to go again. Huge numbers have packed into Musgrave Park or Virgin Media Park, depending if you like old or new money, to watch this one. And we think it might be an Irish record for a women's fixture.
Yeah. 10,
there you go, Neva Dowd has made her way off the field after that last altercation, so Siobhan McCarthy now on permanently.
Thank you, Manus.
Well, this will be an attack for Ireland inside of the England half, and they haven't been down this end for a while. They've really been under the pump for most of this second half. They need to make this count, and look at that for possession. That tells a tale. Woolcroft was nearly involved in that as well, but nobody could take it. So in the end, Sarah Byrne says thank you. Jones straightens. Hurd. Dow again. Ward. Harrison. Saracens woman straightens. Meg Jones is there. The Leicester woman just evading everyone. There's huge numbers out there, but Sarah Byrne's not interested. That's how you bulldoze your way to 5 points. Sarah Byrne knows where the try line is. That's her 25th try for England. And that scoreline now is very comfy with a bonus point.
England just look like they've found 5th gear, don't they? Everything they're doing, more intent, more pace, more tempo. Meg Jones, I think, has been great the last 10 minutes. And like you say, nobody is stopping Sarah Byrne for 10 metres out. So direct, there was only one place that she was heading.
Well, Zoe Harrison there having a little bit of support there by Breach for the conversion. Immaculate with the boot, hasn't missed so far, but there's Byrne with the bonus. The strength Sarah Byrne has to get that acceleration is phenomenal.
It's crazy when you think she's a prop, isn't it? You know, the physicality, like you say, the strength, but only the power that she has, and she's so comfortable ball in hand. You know, she enjoys being in those wide channels, and to bring her off the bench, you know, Hannah Botman had a decent half, and then you bring Sarah Byrne in, who just goes and does that for fun.
Okay, changes then for Ireland as well. You can see Cleena Maloney there, also Nicole Foley and Vicky Alms-Kinlan. Now, interesting that they've taken Dana O'Brien off there. Nicole Foley is a fly half, but that's Vicky Alms-Kinlan you just saw on your screen there, making her Six Nations debut. She has been playing for the Wolfhounds in the Celtic Challenge. She did go to the Olympics with Ireland with the 7 squad. So again, one of the players out there just at the far side of your screen there. She walks towards the cameras, trying to see if she can break into this squad ahead of that World Cup later in the year. Strong afternoon, though, for Dana O'Brien. Although she's come off, she should be pleased with her afternoon's work. Wolf finds Moore. Grace Moore currently playing at Trailfinders in the Premiership Women's Rugby. Big penalty there.
8.
Nice to see Aveen Riley's on there at scrum half. How much, Katie, do you think some of these replacements Ireland are making right now? You'd argue you'd want to keep Dana O'Brien on, but Scott Beeman has to try other players to give them experience.
Yeah, 100%. I think you'd argue the game is done now, really, isn't it? It's England's now. But it's for Ireland, I think, to try and get another score on the board, like you say, getting experience, seeing what these girls can do under these conditions.
Advantage.
Well, there you go. Pressure does funny things to her side. Was that a second knock-on? Referee happy. That was backwards. Jones again. She has been a real nemesis for Ireland. Oh, that's nice from Cabea. Here comes Dow. What's she got? Half the length of the field completed. Byrne happy to take on the next few metres. And there is the knock-on.
Knock-on advantage. Ball is green, it's
At the bottom of that,
advantage.
there is
Don't touch the ball.
so many Irish
Stay
women
back.
desperate to secure the
Yeah,
ball,
for
and
knock-on.
it's that kind of need to help. I don't think that helped too much, Jugang.
Go, go, go.
Well, that pushback by Brittany Hogan, they're losing ground. And I think that's a sensible decision by our referee.
Knock-on here.
Not something that potentially Ireland will have won, though. You know, England, this last 20 minutes just looked like a different side. We see the arrow here from Tatiana
Time off.
Hurd, and uncharacteristic, but I just think their attack, Meg Jones, the speed. I thought Lucy Packer coming on has gone really, really well. A couple more changes for England.
There you go, Sadia Cabea making her way off. Rosie Gallagher is coming onto the field. There you go, that's interesting. So interesting to see how that England back row settled themselves.
Time on.
Fernarty has really impressed, giving her opportunity in the 8 shirt. I think she's going to pack down on the side of the scrum though.
Crouch.
You can also see on your screen in that back line now, Holly Aitchison there as well. Penalty at the scrum for Ireland. Lena Maloney is happy with that.
Yeah, she really will be, won't she? And she'll be very, very familiar with a lot of those English girls. Interesting that Maddie Fernarty's gone to 7, replaced Sadia Cabea there. Last couple of games we've seen her at 8, so be interesting to see how she moves from the 7 shirt as well. You know, you want your 7 generally to be more explosive, your tackler, your jackler, less of a ball carrier.
Lena Maloney actually made her debut against England 10 years ago. 41st cap for her today. She's the only member of this Irish 23 who was actually involved in the World Cup back in 2017 that was in Ireland.
Can you say set louder? I think I didn't hear the sets, we didn't get a push, so that's probably what caused it.
Amy Cocaine there doing what all good hookers will do and just saying, wasn't our fault, we just couldn't hear you, ref.
Amy Cocaine is the queen of that as well, the small talk, just the little one-liners where she'll be talking to a ref, just trying to add influence to their decision-making.
Time on.
Whoa, nice take. Just seeing there, it was Dalton who stood in first receiver. Riley wants the ball and she wants it quickly. Higgins, passed out wide to Flood. Here comes Elms Kinlan. First real touch for her since she's come onto the field. Juga. Rosie Gallagher making a nuisance of herself now that she's on the field. Not taken cleanly. England have it. Packer, Jones, here they come on the counter. Down.
Advantage over.
Harrison hacks on. Foot chases there. Dow is hunting Ireland down. Elms Kinlan does so well there to get away from that try line.
No, no on the hand.
Big drive on again. You can see there it was Siobhan McCarthy. England have got numbers out there. They just need to get it wide. They didn't look up in time. And Ireland get the penalty. A wasted opportunity.
King again. She's been so good over the ball for Ireland in those key moments that, you know, it looked like a cheap turnover from Ireland 3 phases earlier that England were going to capitalise. But again, Erin King straight in there, straight over the ball. Just relieves a little bit of pressure for Ireland here.
If you're joining this match in the second half, the scoreline really doesn't tell the story. Ireland put up such a fight in that first half, but have faded in this second.
They have, and I think it was always going to happen. You know, the energy that they exerted in defence was huge. The way they got off the line, the way they suffocated England was always going to be hard. And, you know, we knew England's bench were going to come on. Cocaine, Clifford, Byrne have been brilliant. Really added a different element to the game and just kept England's intensity high.
You might have just spotted that tackle stat that popped up on our screens. Ireland, every one of the top 5 tacklers is theirs. That shows the effort, arguably from the first half. They've just got to find a way of starting to convert some of that amazing defence into a stronger attack. Definitely got the kicking game.
Bind! Set!
And I think on that, going forward, you know, they've also got a lot of pace. It's just getting the balance of that. And I think when they lost their way at times, that's what caused Ireland problems. They weren't sure whether they were going forward, went a bit lateral, England suffocated them, turned them over. But I think they've got all the components, need to probably sort their scrum out as well, but all the components to really go and start challenging these top 3 sides. You know, they beat New Zealand in WXV, pushed France relatively close. 28-5 here with England isn't a bad score.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Advantage.
England with the advantage, come on the advance. Jones, Kildunn, she does so well to take that ball, driving on. You can just see the arms of King going in. Real go-go gadget attempt.
No advantage.
Really just left in the spaces there by Meg Jones, and Ellie Kildunn just takes it last minute. They're the ones that you want because they're so flat to the line, give defenders no time to react.
Now, you might have just noticed there on Ellie Kildunn's elbow, she had a lot of tape there. The reason for that, a few of the players have got
Time off,
it, is it's because it's a 4G pitch.
11.
And it can really hurt if you go a bit of a slide or get thrown to the floor. Helena Rowland waiting for instructions.
No, we have 11 substitution. 11.
Okay, Helena Rowland is on.
17, 17, 7.
Jess Breach is coming off. That's an interesting one, how they rearrange.
So I think this will be really interesting when we talk about England going forward in World Cup year. For me, this is probably the most interesting one, having Helena Rowland on your bench because of what it affords you. It allows you 10 cover, 13 cover, full-back cover. You see Ellie Kildunn's just slid out to the wing there.
Coming on the charge. She's a couple of metres short. Packer, options, Aldcroft. Byrne. She's got one. She could be over for 2. That is down. Sarah Byrne off the bench and 2 tries in the space of 10 minutes.
And they did this against Italy in round 1. That really powerful, tight forward game. Such a dominant set piece, line out ball there. Very clean, very quick. And then it's just forward wave after forward wave. Like we talked about, Sarah Byrne is so powerful. She gets so low, but you can see her leg drive, and that's the difference for me. If you're trying to hold her up, how do you get under that ball? Because she's literally half a metre off the ground there, but she's still pumping her legs. She's in control of the ball. Really difficult to defend.
Harrison with the extras has not missed. 5 from 5. It is a perfect score so far for England.
Thank you.
Now, you would have spotted that Nevo Dowd did come back onto the field for Ireland, so she took a bit of a head knock before. We can only assume she went off for an HIA and has passed.
Yeah.
Connaught's Nicole Foley gets us back underway. And that is not the restart Ireland would have wanted.
And they're moments that coach killers, aren't they, that they're called. Basically, you can concede something, concede a point there. You want to be able to do something positive, give yourself a foothold to kick back. You're now giving England a scrum,
Right.
middle of the pitch, with both sides to go and attack at.
Well, they've enjoyed their afternoon, despite the scoreline. Ireland really had their tails up after that huge result they put on Italy in Parma. They put more points on Italy than England did. It finished 54-12. But again, for this Irish side, it is all about backing things up.
I change. So before it's the other side, so now it's your side. Okay, we stay high.
We can hear the singing going round the ground. Scott Beeman considering what he does in the second half with his side. How can they maintain that intensity?
Bind! Set!
Referee on that side, and it is staying up. That's a big push from Ireland. England need to get that out. Harrison, Rowland, Dow. King again is in there, causing all kinds of problems. She's got such low body position. Matthews. Ward. Packer. Aitchison. Harrison. Dow. Fairnarty can't take, just slightly overran, manages to clean up though, gives it to Kildunn, who is off. She's flying, she's kicking on, she wants the try line, she reaches, she scores. Ellie Kildunn, leading try scorer now in the Six Nations with 4. But muted celebrations here for England, who know, oh, there it, as soon as I say muted, she goes for the cowboy dance.
Just waiting for the camera. Look, I mean, this is Ellie Kildunn at her best. It's a missed tackle by O'Dowd, but then just she backs herself, doesn't she? Accelerates hard through the middle, 2 defenders. And a bit like Sarah Byrne, she is so powerful once she gets going, so difficult to stop.
Okay.
Smiles there for Ellie Kildunn. Now on 41 English tries.
Time is off. Substitution.
And more changes coming.
Substitution number 3, Linda Dugang, and number 5, Dorothy Wall. Replacement number 18, Christy Henry. Number 19, Reed Campbell.
Okay. Time on.
There is the lasso celebration. From the World Player of the Year. But changes for Ireland. Christy Haney and Ruth Campbell join the party. Can they make an impact? In the short time left for Ireland, they got that try in the first half. Nicole Foley there struggling a little bit. And I think Ireland do not want to watch back that last passage of play.
No, they definitely won't. Like you're saying, Nicole Foley struggled a little bit there. Ball goes through her legs, she has to turn. And all that is doing is allowing England to take more metres off them, pressurise them more, and England to look more comfortable.
Ball comes away for England. They have got their tails up, they are full of confidence, and they have certainly dealt with Ireland in this second half. You can see Dalton over the top there, wants the ball. 35 unanswered points so far for England in this second half. Kildunn's picked up a knock there. Cocaine. Packer. Oh, bit of a tackle off the ball there. Referee happy that there was enough there for it to be a knock-on. Oh, Ireland, they've
Please.
completely switched off at times.
have
They really
advantage.
have.
Okay.
Nelly Kildunn appears to be okay, but unhappy. She's going to play on. Christy Haney there in that scrum cap. The red one, of course, of Wafer. They get ready to pack down. So just a reminder, it is a record crowd at Musgrave Park, 7,754.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Records keep tumbling for attendances in the Women's Six Nations. Wafer. Ireland trying to put some respectability back into this fixture. Better from Foley,
Yes.
but it's going to have to go back. It's been miscalculated and straight out.
And this again will continue along Ireland's development about forwards being aware of that. You know, the first carry from Wafer was great from the scrum. She lands 30 centimetres outside that 22. Therefore, your fly halves are the ones where you want to carry, you want inside your 22, and you want to be able to exit. Just those bits, as they develop, as they spend more time together, they will get better at.
Only white, play on.
Holly Aitchison with the touch through. Meg Jones is chasing, but it's been put over by England, and Dalton is alive to it.
Don't end up out.
So, of course, England, they are hunting down a record 4th consecutive Grand Slam, a 7th consecutive title.
Yeah.
Ireland have got that one victory now over the Italians. Next game, that's what they'll be thinking. As soon as this finishes, they travel away to Wales next week. Burn. Nice footwork coming in by Aitchison. Support now from Clifford. Still Clifford! She goes over for England's 7th try. And that is Kelsey Clifford's first ever try in an England shirt for the Saracens woman. The smile on her face says it all.
Great to see, isn't it? I thought she was very good in round one, but this for me is made by Holly Aitchison. Great little bit of footwork. She goes in, she goes out, and then Clifford's on her shoulder for the lift, goes through 2 tackles, and obviously been watching Sarah Byrne, because anything she can do, Clifford can do as well.
Kelsey Clifford, she made her debut against Scotland back in 2023. She's a former under-18s England captain. Only her 11th cap, but she'll be pleased with that effort. And that scoreline now is a little bit concerning for Ireland. Doesn't really show the progress that we thought we were seeing in that first half.
I'm not sure I agree with that, if I'm honest, Ara. I think if you're Scott Beamon, you're looking at that now. You are never going to be able to go 80 minutes. He's saying Maud Muir there, woman of the match. She was brilliant, ferocious, tackled very well, carried very well, as we saw. But back to Ireland, you know you are never going to live with England for 80 minutes. But what you want to see is a marked improvement. This time last year, England put 88 points on them. I think he said 35 at half-time. Whereas it went in within 1 score. Yes, you know, the last 20, England have found a different gear. But I think if you're Ireland, you've seen that improvement. You know you've got a long way to go to catch England. You've got to have much more bigger numbers playing, a better squad depth, your bench to come off an impact. But I think he's got to be happy with that. He's got to have at least seen some positives that he didn't see this time last year.
Would I argue with a Rugby World Cup winner?
Yes.
Listen in to the Rugby Union Weekly podcast on BBC Sounds. Right then, ball goes forward from Ireland. 3 minutes. There's Riley, Foley again, King, who hasn't given up in this second half, has really battled away. Kildun with a hand in there. She could be in a bit of trouble for that because it's one hand.
For me, I don't have a lot of overlap. Yeah. It's deliberate.
Well, we're just waiting to see if our referee is going to make a decision. No, it's just a penalty.
See again here, we're... Oof, I think Ellie Kildun's really lucky there, you know, she is. She's the last man on the edge there. No attempt to catch that. Referee said it's deliberate. Lucky that isn't a yellow.
Well, another positive platform for Ireland, but the last thing they needed was to lose the line out and gift that ball like a birthday present to England. Here they come, flooding down the right. Rowland, really well read by Costigan. Aldcroft. Former World Player of the Year. Never gives up. Rowland. Cocaine. Leicester woman driving on. Aitchison, who has that lovely flat pass. Right over the top there from Ireland, but unable to get the steal. Harrison, Matthews. And the Irish player's got an awkward position there. It's managed to slow down the English ball, though. Try scorer Clifford. Matthews. Kildun. She's trying to dance her way out of the foam box there. Just no space to do anything. There's space for Amy Cocaine, back inside to Jones. She was well marked. Ball is there for England. Packers alive to it. Feanati, so strong. Green shirts just littered around her. Oh, Aitchison can see space. Couldn't quite get that last pass away. Right, Higgins. Big tackle, clattering there into Rowland. Abby Dow there, could see that that was telegraphed. Got back involved, and Ireland need to arrange an attack here. It's all very static. Need to get some depth and some shape. Amy Cocaine wanted that. Maloney. Riley's trying to find options. Over the top, that was Clifford. Foley. Gives a bit of a hospital pass there to Dalton. The problem for Ireland here is they're going backwards. Hopped off ball, that's better from King. Flood. Costigan. Oh, nearly an intercept, lost forward. Advantage to England, who send it right down the other end of the field. Flood, all of a sudden, thought the attack was on, having to go back. The clock is in the red, the ball is off the field, and England have won again. Ireland thought they were finally mixing it with the big girls. But this England machine is still rolling. Well, smiles there from both sides. Less from the head coach, John Mitchell. He's got plenty to think about after that first half, but the second was a completely different story altogether. The Irish coaching team, lots to think about. Dalton there, as she makes her way off the field. Plenty of these women know each other from playing in the same league together as they thank each other. Be fascinating to know what was said to Ireland at half-time. Ellie Kildun also taking the congratulations, but that's it. Full time, Ireland 5, England 49.
Well, it certainly was a game of two.